I want to talk about solving quadratic equations that look like ax power 2 plus bx plus c equals to 0. It usually has three terms. We call the first term the quadratic term because it has x power 2. So the coefficient of it is a. Then we have the second term, we call it the linear term, so because x has the power of 1, and the coefficient of it is called b. And we have the constant, the third term, which is only a number. It doesn't have x at all. So there are three terms in a quadratic equation, usually three terms. Sometimes it has two terms. If c is 0, so we will have just a and b. If b is 0, so bx will be eliminated because 0 times x is 0, so we will have only a and c. But normally it has three terms. And the secret here is equals to 0. It must be like that, equals to 0. So the first way of solving it, which is getting the roots, which are x values, is called factoring. So here we have to factor it into brackets. Now we have two cases. The first case is when a equals to 1. So when a equals to 1, that means here there will be 1. It will look like that. So x power 2 plus bx plus c equals to 0. Here a is 1, so I don't need to write it. We call this way is sum and product. We look for two numbers that have the sum of b and the product of c. Here is an example. X power 2 plus 5x plus 4 equals to 0. A is 1, b is 5, c is 4. Since a is 1, that means this is case number 1. So we will go for sum and product. What are the two numbers that have the sum of 5 and the product is 4? Please don't mix up. The first one is sum, the second one is product. So the coefficient of the linear term is b, which is the sum, and the constant is the product, which is c. So ask yourself, what are the two numbers that if I add them, I'm gonna get 5, and if I multiply them, I'm gonna get 4? Just ask yourself, what are the numbers that if you multiply them by each other, you will get 4? Either 2 and 2, but 2 plus 2 is not 5, so it's not possible. What about negative 2 and negative 2? If you add them, you will get negative 4, so wrong. What about 4 and 1? If you multiply them, you will get 4, and you add them, you will get 5. So these are the numbers. To factor this quadratic equation, you just need to type it like that. Two brackets, x here and x there, and the numbers that you find, I don't mean 5 and 4. The numbers that have the product of 4 and the sum of 5 are 1 and 4. So you will put them here, 1 here and 4 here. Now, you have two brackets multiplied by each other and the answer is 0. That means one of them is 0. But which one? What about the first one? What if the second one is 0? So here you need to discuss both cases. So you will write either x plus 1 is 0, so when you move 1 to the other side you will get negative 1, or the second bracket is 0, x plus 4 equals 0, so x equals negative 4. So here are the two roots or the two solutions. Let's solve some other question or problem. X power 2 minus 9x plus 18 equals 0. So the question is solve the quadratic equation. Now, since a is 1, that means this is case number 1. b is negative 9, c is 18. Here we will use sum and product. What are the two numbers that if you add them you will get negative 9, and if you multiply them you will get 18? What are the numbers that you multiply them by each other you will get 18? What about 2 and 9? 2 times 9 is 18, but 2 plus 9 is 11. Wrong. What about negative 2 and negative 9? If you multiply them you will get 18, but if you add them you will get negative 11. Wrong. Let's change the plan. Let me think. What about 6 and 3? 6 times 3 is 18, but 6 plus 3 is 9. Oh, I have negative 9. Okay. What about negative 6 and negative 3? If you add them, you will get negative 9, and if you multiply them, you will get 18. So this is the way how to guess. So you need to guess the numbers. You will write them like that, then discuss it. Either the first bracket is 0, so x will be 3, or the second bracket is 0, x minus 6 equals 0, so x equals to 6. So the solutions are 3 and 6. It's really easy. Let's talk about the next example. Solve the quadratic equation x power 2 plus 5x minus 36 equals to 0. Since a is 1, that means this belongs to the case number 1. I will use sum and product. What are the two numbers that if I add them I will get 5, and if I multiply them I will get negative 36. What about 18 and 2? Be careful, the multiplication is negative. That means one of them is positive and one is negative. So let's say negative 18 and 2. Negative 18 times 2 is negative 36, but negative 18 plus 2 is not 5. So it's not that way. What about negative 6 and positive 6? If you add them, you will get 0. Oh, I need 5. What about 9 and 4? If you multiply 9 by 4, you will get 36. But here I have negative 36. That means one of them is negative. What about negative 9 and positive 4? Negative 9 times positive 4, negative 36. But negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. I want it to be positive 5. So let me flip the signs. So the answer is 9 and negative 4, because 9 times negative 4 is negative 36, and 9 plus negative 4 is 5. So the numbers are 9 and negative 4. So I will factorize it like that. So it will be 9 plus x plus 9 times x minus 4. So this x and this x always should be written, and the numbers that you guessed, you put them here. Now you have two brackets. The answer is 0. One of them must be 0, because the answer is 0. One of them must be 0. What about this bracket? Let me discuss it. Either x plus 9 equals to 0, so x equals to negative 9, or x minus 4 is 0, so x equals to 4. So these are the two solutions. One more example. X squared minus x minus 42 equals to 0. So a is 1, b is negative 1. But we don't write the number 1 before x. So this belongs to case number 1. What are the two numbers that if you add them you will get negative 1, and if you multiply them you will get negative 42. If you try to guess and try different numbers, you will get negative 7 and 6. So we will write x minus 7 times x plus 6. Either the first bracket is 0, that gives me x equals to 7, or the second bracket is 0, that means x equals to negative 6. Now it's your turn. Try to solve these questions.